and welcome to this practice. As you come to your mat, make sure that you have all the props that you might need in your general yoga practice. Yoga blocks, a yoga strap, a pillow for Shavasana if you want to sit, or you're more than welcome to lie down. In this practice, you'll also need a small ball. It should be squishy, so if you have a tennis ball, that's great. If you don't, a lacrosse ball's a little bit too hard, so you want to go with something soft. So a small ball, and then if you have a Pilates ball, one of these Pilates balls, they're very lovely. If you don't have one, don't worry, I'm going to show you options without it. Go ahead and come to a seated position and just start tuning into your breath. In today's flow, we are focusing on powering or harnessing the power of harnessing the power of the moon. And the moon is we're in the Sagittarius season, and the full moon coming up is the Sagittarius full moon. And Sagittarius tend to be very creative and spontaneous and a little bit rambunctious. And their symbol is the archer. So we're going to explore this strong, powerful being in this practice today. And as we breathe, I want you to start imagining that you're powering, I keep saying powering, you're harnessing the power of the moon. Remember, the moon's pull can move an ocean. So as we breathe, I want you to imagine that your breath are those waves along the ocean, and they rise up onto the beach and they recede back. Let the prana, your breath in, be strong. Let the apana, the breath out, be gentle and long and soft. Breath in is strong. The breath out is long, soft, and gentle. And just let that prana, that breath in, build. And use that energy, that full moon, to build that prana. Breathe in. Let it travel all the way down to your toes. And just tune in. What's your body feeling? What energy, or where does that energy need to go today? At any point in this practice, if you feel uncomfortable, please stop. Take a moment, pause, go into child's pose, Tadasana, mountain pose. Whatever your body needs. Remember, this is your practice. Breathe in and breathe out. On your next breath, I invite you to bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Take a breath in and out. And I just want to acknowledge before we begin our flow that we stand on the shoulders of giants and so many teachers and people who have brought yoga into our lives. I acknowledge that I am not a creator of this, but I am a teacher, and I've had many teachers before me. If you'd like to join me for 1 Om, please do so. Breathe in. Bring your hands down to the side, and we're going to just start by warming up our thoracic spine, our ribs, so we can breathe and bring that prana in. And if you're not comfortable touching your body, this is where having this Pilates ball kind of warm you up. You can rub side to side, up and down in circles. Or if you're more comfortable, you can take your fingertips and just start rubbing those ribs. We want those ribs warmed up so they can expand the way that they need to. We don't just breathe up and down. We breathe in this lovely 360 degrees. So we have all this lovely tissue, supportive tissue of the fascia. And we just want to warm it up. And make sure you get up top. You can tap across the shoulders, down. It's a gentle tapping, don't tap hard. Just let the ribs. Make sure you get the back and go all the way down. I like to form little cups with my fingers. Just rub down that thoracolumbar fascia. It's awfully big. Thick patch of fascia that supports our lower spine. And then you can even go down your legs. Just warm up the thighs and the calves. And then just up your arms gently. Just getting that superficial fascia, a little bit of heat. Cold winter month. All right, pandiculate. Oh, move the way your body needs as you sink into your hips, down into those seat bones, move around. Maybe some circles of the spine, maybe just some side to sides. Maybe you start to yawn. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, remember, yawning comes from our primal area, our very supportive bodily functions, and it just feels good, so never feel bad about yawning. You're supporting your hypothalamus. Little stretches, roll through the shoulders, and then slowly turn your head and look over the right. Drop your chin down and around. Pausing and lingering anywhere you feel a little extra need. Let those shoulders relax. Mine want to roll forward so much today. Take a pause at the left side, and then roll that down and around. Take a pause at the right, and then just turn your head left and right slowly, noticing any tension. Can you breathe into that space, into the nose and out, and just let it go. Good. Maybe a couple more head pulls. All right, elongate through the spine, lift that sternum. So we're not flaring our ribs, but we're just shining that sternum bright. Lift through the crown of the head and place your right arm onto the floor. Keeping your elbow just a little bit soft. Bring that left arm up and just stretch here. Just notice where you feel things. Notice I'm not leaning super far yet. Reach those fingers up and just feel that connection from the hip all the way up your side body through the fingertips, maybe along the back of the arm. Inhale. As you exhale, look towards the earth. Lean a little further, letting that right elbow bend. Feel the increase in that stretch. Now push away from the earth as you lean in. Breathe. And think about the spaces in between. Can you still keep space between your right ear and right shoulder, even though we're in here? Can you not collapse? Keep space. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Ooh. Come back to center. Wiggle around if you need to, and just let that body settle. And just see if you can tune in to the different sides. Does this side feel just a little more open? Don't worry, I won't cue you this much through the whole thing. I just want you to start really tuning into that stretch and where you feel it and how it changes the sides of your body. Left hand comes to the earth, to your mat. Elbows soft. Gently bring up the right arm. And we're just hanging out here. We're not fully into that stretch. Breathe in and out. Breathing along the line of our pinky all the way down the back of our arm, through the side body, down to our hip, maybe even a little bit into that back glute area. Inhale. As you exhale, look down towards the mat. Press into that arm, leaning a little further. Let the elbow bend. And remember, we're keeping space between our left ear and left shoulder, so we're not coming up. We're creating space in all sides of the stretch. And then push away from the floor, pushing a little bit deeper into that rib stretch area. And release that arm down. Walk back to center. Wiggle it out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale the arms up. Spread out into cactus arms. Ooh, open that chest a little bit. Maybe even taking a little bit of a salute. And then bring the body upright. Stack the left arm into the right elbow pit. If you can't go into full eagle arm, you can just place your palms back to back here, or go ahead and wrap them around, letting the shoulders just relax. And for some of you, this might be enough. This might be your stretch. Feel free at any point to close your eyes. I always close my eyes in this stretch. Inhale and exhale. If you want, on the next 2 breaths, you can let the arms come up gently. Inhale, exhale, lower them down. Inhale, rise up, exhale, lower down. Let's do that one more time. 3 just seems good today. Inhale it up, exhale, lower it down. Release that bind. Just let your arms come down, let the blood flow, let the fingers tingle. Breathe in and just breathe into that back space that you just opened up with that lovely stretch. Inhale, rise the arms. Exhale, cactus arms. Little salute if you want, little stretch, little back bend. Inhale, come back up, stack the right into the left, wrap into eagle arms. Maybe even take a different cross leg. Hang out here if that's what's right for your body. Otherwise, inhale, gently lift the arms. Exhale, lower them down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Release the arms. Oof, just let that sensation, those vibrations of the stretch move your body the way it needs to. Settle in. And just take one breath. As you exhale, move over to all fours. And I like to come into cat-cow with my feet pressed, but feel free if you're more stable to tuck your toes. So whatever feels right. Stack the wrist, elbow, and shoulder. And just make sure that if your elbows point forward, you turn your elbows a little bit out towards the edge of your mat. So if you're super hypermobile, you want to find the strength in this pose, not necessarily the extension of those elbows. So just a little bit turn. Spread the palms, root into your hands, root into the top of your feet or to your toes. And just kind of move around here. Move through that spine. Maybe some barrel rolls. Tucking the pelvis up and down. Moving through the ribs, around. And then just find your center. And I want you to move to the right. Sink back deep as you can, up and around. Kind of maybe a little bit further forward than your fingers. You can go past that wrist, that stacking. And then reverse the direction. Couple times, using your breath, don't hold it. Breathe. Remember, we're drawing energy from that full moon, building our prana in and out. Good. Find your center. Stack those wrists again. And pressing into the top of the feet. Inhale. Let the lower back go just a little bit. Rise up through the sternum, through the arms. Head comes up. Inhale. Exhale, really articulating, starting with the pelvis. Tuck. Move that thoracic spine. Let the neck hang. Push through the floor. Push away here. And I want you to pause at the top and breathe in that cat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, let it lower. Cow. Head comes up. Exhale, round up, really articulating the spine, pushing away from the floor. Inhale. If you ever feel a little bit of tension in that lower back on your cows, I invite you to sink back as you breathe in. Find a little support for that lower back. Exhale, round up. One more time. Inhale. And exhale up. Good. Tuck the toes. Go into your first downward facing dog. Pedal through those heels. Find the strength in your hands. The weight should be distributed evenly. Again, check those arms. Press into the pinky and that ring finger to find that strength through your serratus. Pedal the heels. Elbows Facing your thighs if possible. Good, and then just some little bounces, warming up those Achilles. And then find the power through the right hand, push away from the floor. Find the strength, lift the left hand, reach for that right ankle. I almost said block, because the block's right there. Nice little stretch. Come back to all fours, sink. Stretch it out, move through the wrists if you need to. Tap the toes again. Find your strength. Inhale. Exhale. Lift up. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Dropping the heels right and left maybe. And then find the strength through that left hand. Lift the right arm. Reach through. Nice little stretch. Tuning into the side body. Push away from the floor. Inhale as you exhale. Shift your gaze forward. Soften the knees. And either walk yourself slowly up to the front, or you can hop, depending on where you are in your day. I'm not super warmed up, so I'm just going to walk myself into Uttanasana. Let your body hang. Knees soft. You can even keep it really soft and just let your thighs support your body. Relax your neck. Inhale. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, nice long back, nice long neck. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise all the way up to Tadasana. Hands through your heart center. Tune into your vibrations, bring that breath in. Where is your strength? Where is your power? Where does that breath need to go to give you a little bit more energy, a little bit more life force? Harness the power of that mood. Inhale and exhale. Go into a little bit further warm up. We're going to inhale, salute. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands come back up above your head, salute. Inhale, lean to the right. Good, take a little stretch. Inhale, up. Exhale, to the left. Inhale, bring the hands back to heart center. Sink into chair. Can you wiggle your toes? Draw the arms up. Little heat in those thighs. Spread the toes and just notice where your feet are right now. How does it feel? Inhale, exhale, release all the way through your forward fold. Notice where you are in this forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Grab your ball, and I know my ball's pink, so I'm going to step forward just so you can see here. I just want you to roll your feet. It doesn't have to be hard, just a nice little gentle roll, waking up all of those little muscles. You have 32 muscles in each feet, 32 bones in each feet. All that fascia, all of those little mechanoreceptors in your feet. Warm them up. Nice little gentle roll. Anywhere you feel a little tension, hang out there. Do the other foot. Just real quick. Notice that my ball's pretty soft, so I have some give. You want some give to that ball. You don't want it to be hard. Good. And then just go ahead and move that ball out of the way. Pedal through your heels, coming up on those toes, and just kind of find that little bounce up. So we're not really pushing in the ground to lift up. It's just a nice little bounce. Bending through those toes. If that hurts, don't go up as high as I do. Good. And then spread the toes out as wide as you can. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And just notice if by warming up those feet, you reach a little further than you did before. We're going to do a little toe snap here. So I want you to grab your toes. You can keep your knees a little bit soft and let your body rest. If this is uncomfortable, you can also sit in a chair. So this one took me a while to get, but we're gonna take our toes and just let them snap. And it might take you a few times. Just lift them up, let the toes snap down. And I noticed that my little toes do much better. I have some bunions on my big toes that just want to power in and not relax. So just snap your toes, letting them just come up, snap down to the earth. A few times, and then let your head hang. Maybe straighten the left leg and then the right. Inhale, we halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, find chair. Feet can be together or hip width apart, whatever feels good. And notice when you're in chair, can you wiggle your toes a little bit better now? Can you see your toes? Remember, we're not pushing our knees forward. Draw them back and sink into it. Nice long back. One way to support your chair is to find your core, find those abs. And the one way that I like to cue my transverse abdominis is by making noise. And in yoga class, it's not usually okay to make noise, but today we're going to make some noise since we're being that Sagittarius, that gregarious, outgoing, we're channeling their energy. So bring your hands down to heart center. If you press your palms together, you're going to engage that top ab, that rectus abdominis a little bit, finding that midline. Press the hands together. And then I want you to go. And when you do that, you should feel this little with that corset, your transverse abdominis. So good. Breathe, rise up. Little salute. Exhale. Breathe. Feel the vibrations. Feel the little heat, the warmth in your belly, warmth in your abs. Okay, we're going to rise back up. Hands come apart. Sink back down into that chair. Feeling the heat. Making those tapas, burning that energy. Harnessing the power of it. Imagine reaching up and grabbing her, holding her. Draw that energy to your heart center. Inhale, as you exhale, take that left arm, revolve to the right. Twisting, don't let your knees go over. If you can't go all the way down, that's okay. Go as far as it feels. Maybe you're up here. Let your head go with it. Inhale. Exhale, return to center, fly forward, come up on the toes. Little drinking bird. Inhale, let the heels come down, rise up. Salute. Exhale, hands through to heart center, Tadasana. Breathe. Inhale. As you exhale, rise up. Salute. Open the arms, grab the power of the moon. Harness your energy as you sink into chair. Inhale. As you exhale, hands lower through to heart center, revolve to the other direction. Breathe in and out. Inhale, fly into drinking bird. Nice long back, nice long neck. Inhale, exhale, rise up. Hands through your heart center. Pause for just a moment. Set your blocks up if you need them for any warrior, or we're going to do half moon, so I like to have my blocks for half moon. Inhale. As you exhale, shift your weight just subtly to the left foot. Root in, soften the knee, push away from the mat, push away from the earth. Extend the arms down and begin to hinge at the hips, gently lifting that right foot. If you need to keep your foot down on the ground, that's completely fine. If you need to use your block, use your block. Find warrior three. Square the hips, find the strength, extend the arms out. Inhale. As you exhale, lower down to the block. Find your strength. Push away from the earth. Root before you open. Draw that right hand along that left arm, opening up. Half moon. Find your strength. Anytime you need to come out, you can. I invite you to draw your foot forward, grab it. Maybe a little half moon practice. Full moon. Did I say half moon? Release down. Ooh, come up. Pedal it out. Good. Step that left foot forward. Step the right foot back. 2 points forward to the top of your mat and to the edge. Heels kind of in line. Draw that knee over the ankle. Inhale. Bring the arms up and sink into your warrior two. Open that body. Feel the flow, fingertip to fingertip. Can you lower the shoulder? Create space and strength. Inhale. Exhale into it. On your next breath in, exhale and turn the fingertips back and just feel that fascial line along the front of the arms. You turn your head, look both ways. Inhale. As you exhale, reverse your warrior for just a moment. Inhale, become the archer. Eyes forward towards the target. Draw your right hand to the left hand. Pull your bow back and release. Pull the bow back and release. We're finding that frog-like release of the arm. We pull, we set it up and release. Pull. Find your target. Release. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Hold that bow. Think about a goal, maybe something in the future that you can find. Inhale, release the grip, reverse warrior. And then bring that arm down, side angle, draw the right arm behind. Ooh, release the hips a little bit here. Create the space between the left ear and left shoulder. Finding that long line from the edge of the foot all the way through the fingertips. Play with where your gaze is. Find a lunge, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose, big sigh out through the mouth. One more time. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Walk or hop to the top of your mat. Whew, little steps. Find forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands through, find chair. Good. Find the heat. Wiggle your toes. Inhale, rise up. A little salute. Exhale, other side. Find that little shift through the feet. Shifting into the right foot, softening the knee, pushing away from the earth. Hands come down to the side. Start to hinge forward, picking that left leg up. Moving your arms where it needs to. You can twist from little airplane or draw the hands, becoming a bow yourself, an arrow from the fingertips to the toes. Good. When you're ready, set your block up or use the floor wherever your practice is. Find that strength first. Before you open up and bring the arm up, find the strength in your foot. Find the strength through your hand. Peel open into half moon. Ooh. Wobbly today. And again, I invite you to draw in, grab the foot, come into full moon. Ooh. And release Ooh, take a little forward fold. Rise up. Pedal it out as needed. Step forward with your right foot. Turn the left foot out. Bring that knee over the ankle. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, warrior. Find your strength. Become the archer. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, as you exhale, turn the fingertips back, stretching through the arms, reaching. And then pointing the fingers, drawing your bow. Wind it up and release. Bring it back, release. It's a quick release. You feel that tension building, and then you have this power to let it go. One more time. Good. Bring it back and just hold. Fixing your eyes on your target, on your goal, on your intentions, on your strengths. Inhale. As you exhale, reverse. Inhale. Exhale. Down to the leg. Draw your hand behind. Finding that lovely long line from the edge of your foot. Push into that foot. Creating energy all the way through your fingertips. Good. Inhale. As you exhale, sweep down. Turn the toes forward. Wide forward fold. If you do not reach your yoga mat or the floor, always use blocks. I thought for a long time that blocks were not okay, that they meant that I was not good. My yoga practice improved tenfold when I started using blocks. Breathe in and breathe out. You can move around here as you need to. Inhale, support yourself and slowly walk your feet inward, heel toe, till you get to a comfortable position. Soften the knees, rise up. Inhale, hands through to heart center. Unroll your pants. Take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Good, all right. Channeling all that energy. I'm just gonna bounce through the heels, both heels down. And again, the bounce comes, the up comes naturally. So we're going down and the up will happen. So we're just kind of landing into the floor, letting it go up and down. You can always use a wall and pedal it out. Good, turn your toes in, heels in. And then even let your toes, if it feels comfortable, come up off the ground. We're gonna find a really strong chair, so I want you to just kind of watch. After a few bounces here, good. Ooh, shake everything out. If you've got some energy, release all that doesn't serve you out to the ground. And then just find a moment. I'm gonna have you watch the first round. I'll demonstrate it from the front, and then I'll demonstrate it from the back. So we're gonna do this power chair. It's a very strong motion, and we're tuning into that archer vibe, that hunter Artemis, and that full moon strength. So find that bounce, and we're gonna come into a very strong chair. You can even swing your arms a few times, and we're gonna go come out, swing, pedal, bounce. Feel free to join me whenever. Ready? Inhale. One more time. Inhale. Good. Woo. Let it go. How do you feel? Bring the arms up. Exhale through. And I just want you to feel that power, that strength from that noise, from that guttural tone that we were making. Strength. Power of the moon. We've harnessed her. We've harnessed the energy of Sagittarius, the hunter, the archer. Inhale, rise up. Little salute. Exhale, swan dive forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, bend the knees, use your block, step back. Downward facing dog. Pedal through. Just notice how much more space you have on those Achilles. Inhale, shift your gaze forward, roll a little spine wave up and lower down. Chaturanga. Woo. Everything's in the way, as always. Hands below, flip the feet. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra. Pause at the top. Breathe. Let your hips sink into the ground. Exhale, lower down. Press into the tops of the feet. Press your hips into the ground. Inhale. Pressing through the fingertips, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Keeping your gaze down at the ground, extend your arms to the side. Find the strength by drawing that belly button up, maybe doing the little nice long neck. Point your toes. Lift your legs up off the ground. Coming into locust. Extending the legs back. Nice long neck. Reaching the crown of the head. Opposite of the toes. Shoulders away from the ears. Find the strength. Imagine that you're holding that beautiful moon behind your back. Find her power. Inhale. Exhale. Lower down. Draw the hands underneath. Move up to all fours. Widen. Sink back into Balasana. Use a block where needed. If your head doesn't reach the ground, use a block there. We're going to do some back breaths, so I want you to breathe across that back. If being wide-kneed does not feel good, draw your knees underneath. Feel free to do a supported child pose. Inhale. And if your knees are wide as your mat, draw them underneath. As you come to center, I want you to walk your body to the right, stretching into that side body. Let your head relax. I'm going to keep my head up just a little bit so you can hear me. And I want you to press into both hands and kind of push away from the earth. Feel the connection, again, along the outside of the arm through the side body. Walk back to center. Pause for a moment, let your body release back to where it needs to be. Find the ease of this pose. Inhale, walk to the left. Breathe into that side body. Your head doesn't have to go to the earth. Push into the hands, pushing away, increasing that stretch along that fascial line on the outside of the body. Walk back to center. Inhale, as you exhale, rise up to all fours. Shift over to your back. Roll down. Hug one knee in and then the other. Whew. Roll like a ball. Back and forth. Good. And bring the feet to the earth. Inline, knees, hips, ankles. Drawing the feet as close as you can. Have a yoga block handy. If you want to place a block underneath your hips as we go into bridge, you can. Press into the earth with your hands. Press into the feet first to begin that lift. So take a big deep breath and feel your lower back come up off the ground. Exhale. Let the spine imprint, let the navel draw down to the mat. Press into the feet to begin your lift. Lift up. Squeezing the glutes at the top. Walking the shoulders underneath a little bit if you want. You can even take a bind. Neck relax, long neck. Lift, stretch. Release the bind when you're ready. Slowly lower down. Articulation of the spine, one vertebrae at a time. It's easy just to release it. Enjoy the pose between the poses. All the way down. Drawing the knees to the body again. Roll through those ankles, both ways. Good, and then bring the knees up into tabletop, hands out to the side. Feel free just to take legs up the wall, keeping the yoga block underneath if you want, or from tabletop position here. If your lower back hurts, draw the knees in a little bit. Draw the knees to the left, going as far as it feels good to your body. Inhale, you can gaze at the ceiling, or on your next breath out, turn and look over that right shoulder. Inhale, draw the knees in as you roll back to center. Knees come up and over. Let the body sink to where it needs to be. Inhale. Exhale, adjust your knees for your lower back, letting them fall to the right, looking over the left. Slowly bring the knees to the chest as you roll back to center. Place the feet mat width apart. Let the knees windshield wiper in and out. And draw those legs to the right. For some of you, this might be the stretch that you need. If you want a little bit more through that front hip flexor on the left, right foot comes up onto the left leg, not on your knee joint, please. Slide it over, bring that left foot underneath, reach through figure four, relax your neck. Draw that leg close. If you ever want to get a little more out of the stretch, drop that right knee towards the right, hug your knees in a little more, maintaining that roll back. Release it down, feet mat width apart. Let them drop to and fro. And then dropping both knees to the left, hands can go out to the side if that feels right. If you want to hang out here, wonderful. If you want a little more, left foot on top of the right thigh. Don't hold your breath. Remember, breathing helps us Golgi tendon organs, your muscle spindles, all of this connected to our breath. I find, particularly on stretches, upon our breath out is where we release. So energy comes in through, and then upon it goes out. Prana in, prana out. Draw that right foot underneath the knee, keeping the left foot crossed if that feels good. Inhale, thread the needle, drawing it in. Flex the feet, point, feel the difference. Elongate through the neck. Remember, our chin shouldn't be pointed up towards the ceiling. Imagine holding an orange between your chin and your chest. If you want to get a little more out of the stretch, drop that knee to the left, draw the knee in, roll back. And release both feet down to the earth. Windshield wiper. Let the knees fall open, soles of the feet together. Reach your hands overhead, stretch. Inhale and exhale. Find your position for Shavasana. Maybe you need a little sweater. Corpse pose. If you want to do the meditation in a seated position, I invite you to do that. So maybe a comfortable pillow or sitting on your yoga blocks. Try on something warm. I'm in my basement, so it's a little cold. Go ahead and let your breath become soft. In through the nose and out, natural rhythm. If you have a moonstone, maybe hold on to a moonstone. Close your eyes. And let the subtleties of that breath, let the breath vibrate through your entire body. And just notice any changes from the beginning breath to where you are now. And as you breathe, I want you to imagine the full darkness of winter is upon us. But even in the darkness, there's always some light. And I want you to imagine a path, wherever you are, maybe a forest, maybe a mountain, maybe a field. And let that path be illuminated by the full moon. Let her moonlight comfort you and fill you with joy. Let that luminescent light guide the breath through your body. Let your vibrations feel powerful and strong on the release. We breathe in the light and we breathe out the light. Let your spine soften. If you're seated, let it grow long. Let your hips sink into the mat, no matter where you are. Let the crown of your head extend. And the breath softens your joints, your muscles, your fascia, your nerves. Everything's connected. And as you breathe in, let that light, that gorgeous white moonlight, touch every part of your body, lighting it up, filling you with strength, power. Let the water in your body be moved by that moon. Flowing with the moon allows us to see through the dark and fill our soul lanterns with light. Take a moment to breathe and reflect on the cycle of the moon. As Sarah Robinson says, the moon is a lunar reminder to listen to your intuition. It's a powerful guide. It shows the cycles of the month. Breathe in that light. Let it invigorate and guide you today. Inhale and exhale. Allow yourself to begin to move. Slowly wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And of course, if you're watching this recording, feel free to stay longer in this Shavasana, in this meditation. Moon meditations are a powerful way, especially for women, to kind of come more into. Maybe your eyes begin to flutter open. And gently roll to your right side if you're on your back. Allow the intentions of your practice to sink in. And before you come to a seated position, I just want you to pause and take a moment. Think about how you can take this practice today with you into your life and off the mat. Slowly work your way to a seated position. Reach up, spread the fingers. Oh, open up, cactus arms. And then bring your hands to heart center if you choose to. Anjali Mudra. I bow my head to you. I bow my head in appreciation to the people who came before me and to those of you who did this practice. You are what we need in this world. I send my grace to you, my thanks, and my love from the bottom of my heart. Let's close with an O. Breathe in.